on the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike hero, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, gentles all, the flat unbrazen spirits that have fared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Admit me, chorus to this history, who, prologue like, your humble patrons pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge our play!
Court 1418. King Henry asks the Archbishop if it is right that England should declare war on France. The Archbishop explains his reasoning that Henry is the rightful heir, not the French king, who has succeeded the throne through the line of the female against all European tradition. The ambassador delivers the French king's response to Henry's claim. He denies it. The French prince also sends an insulting message to Henry.
He therefore sends you meter for your spirit. This ton of treasure and allurableness desires you to tell the dukedoms that you claim hear no more of. This the Dauphin speaks.
What treasure, uncle? this present and your pains we thank you for. When we have matched our records to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set. Shall strike his father's crown into the hazard, and we understand him well. And tell the pleasant prince, this smoke of his, that turn his balls to gunstones, and his soul shall stand sword charging for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For many 1,000 widows shall this his mock out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down, and some yet ungotten and unborn shall cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. So get you hence in peace, and tell the Dauphin his jest. We'll savour all that have shallow wit, when thousands weep more than did laugh did. Convey them a safe conduct. Fare you well.
This was a merry message.
We hope to make the sender blush at it. For we now have no thought in us but France, save those to God that run before our business. Therefore let every man now task his thought, that this fair action may on foot be brought.
King Henry and his army prepared to sail for France. However, a conspiracy to kill Henry has been uncovered. The king knows about the treachery and confronts the traitors.
Oh, God! His grace is bold to trust these traitors.
They shall be apprehended by and by.
How smooth and even do they bear themselves. The king hath note of all they do intend.
That he should for a foreign purse so sell his sovereign's life to debt and treachery.
Now since the wind fair, we will hold. My lord king and my kind lord master, and you, my gentle knight, give me your thoughts. Think you not that the powers we bear with us will cut the passage through the force of France?
No doubt, my lord. You think man knows best.
I doubt not that.
Never was monarch better feared and loved than is your majesty.
True. We therefore cook great cause of thankfulness. Uncle of Excellent, enlarge the man committed yesterday that railed against our person. We consider it was excess of wine that set him on. And not as more but we pardon him.
That's merciful. Too much security. Let him be punished, sovereign. Lest example breed by his subjects more of such a kind.
Oh, let us yet be merciful.
So may your highness, and yet punished too.
Sir, you show great mercy if you give him life after a taste of much correction.
Alas, your too much love and care of me are ever yours, and yet this poor wretch, if little faults proceeding on his temper shall not be winked at, how shall we stretch our eye on capital crimes chewed, swallowed, and digested appear before us? And now to our French causes. Who are the late commissioners?
I am one, my lord. Your highness bade me ask for it today.
So did you mean, my liege?
And I, my lord sovereign.
Then Richard Earl of Cambridge, they're yours, they're yours, Lord Scroope of Massam, and tonight Graham of Northumberland is saying it's yours. Read them, and know, I know, your worthiness. My Lord Westmoreland of Gloucester, we will aboard tonight. Why, how now, gentlemen? What see you in those papers that you lose so much complexion?
I do confess my fault, and submit me to your highness's mercy, to which we all people.
The mercy that was big enough but licked by your own councils oppressed and killed. You must not dare for shame talk of mercy. I will wait for thee, for this revolt of thine methinks is like another fool of man.
I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Richard, Earl of Cambridge. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Henry, Lord Scroope of Masham. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Thomas Gray, Knight of Northumberland.
Hear now your sentence. You have conspired against our royal person, joined with an enemy proclaiming from his coffers received the golden earnest of our death, wherein you would have sold your king to slaughter, his princes and his peers to servitude, his subjects to oppression and contempt, and his whole kingdom into desolation. Yet you then all henceforth miserable wretches to your death. The taste whereof God others mercy give you patience to endure, and true repentance of all your deep offences. Bear them hence,
French king and his nobles receive a message from Exeter, sent as an ambassador from King Henry of England. Exeter threatens war. He also rebukes the French Prince Dauphin for the tennis ball insult.
Ambassadors from Harry, King of England, do crave admittance to your majesty.
Go and bring them. You see this chase is hardly followed, friends.
Good, my sovereign. Take up the English short, and let them know of what a monarchy you are the head. Self-love, my liege, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting.
From our brother of England,
From him, and thus he preached. Your majesty, he wills you in the name of God Almighty to divest yourself and lay apart the borrowed glories. He bids you then resign your crown and kingdom, indirectly held from him, the native and true challenger.
or else what follows?
Bloody constraint, for if you hide the crown, even in your hearts, there will he wait for it. This is his claim, his threatening in my message. Unless the dolphin be present here, who I expressly bring greetings to.
For the Dauphin, I stand here for him. What to him from England?
Scorn and defiance, slight regard, contempt, and anything that might not misbecome the mighty sender. Doth he cry to add. This, says my king.
Say that if my father at the fair returns is against my will, for I desire nothing but odds with England, and to that end, as matching to his youth and vanity, I did present him with the Paris balls.
He'll make your Paris move shake for it.
Tomorrow you shall know our mind at full.
Scene of a siege at the castle of Harfleur, the first French village attacked by the English. The French king sends a word of compromise, but Henry rejects it, urging his men to battle.
Thus, with imagined wing, our swift seeing flies, a motion of no less celerity than that of thought. Work your thoughts, and in them see a siege. Behold the ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaping on girded Hafler. Suppose the ambassador from the French comes back, tells Harry the king doth offer him Catherine his daughter, with her dowries, some petty and improbable victims. The offer lights him not, and the nimble gunner, with this stock now the devilish cannon touches, and down goes all before them. Still, be kind, and eke out a performance with your mind.
London, Globe Theatre. France, in front of the castle at Harfleur. The English army has burst open part of the city wall surrounding Harfleur, but the soldiers are now in retreat. Henry urges his troops to make just one more assault. He calls upon their loyalty, patriotism, and their sense of honor. At last, he sounds the battle cry.
Once more into the breach, dear friends! Once more! Or close the wall up with our English dead! When the blast of war blows in irons, then imitate the action of the tiger! Stiffen the sinews! Conjure up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard favored words. Now set the teeth, and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit who is full of life! Ah, Lord, you noblest England! Yeah! Disown not your mother, tomorrow for the march. Are we at rest?
Princess's chamber at the French court. A scene of quiet comedy follows the bloody violence threatened outside Harfleur as Princess Catherine takes her first lesson in English.
Anneliese, you have been in England and you speak the language well.
A little, madame.
I beg you, teach me. I've got to learn to speak it. How do you say the math in English?
Mamma, it is called the hand.
The hand. A what?
Les doigts. Oh, my word, I forgot les doigts. But I remember. Les doigts, I think they are called the fingers. Oui, the fingers.
The math, the hand, les doigts, the fingers. I think I am a good pupil. I have learned 2 words of English very quickly. How do you say les ongles?
Les ongles, we call them the nails.
Nails. Listen, tell me if I speak correctly. The hand, the fingers, and the nails.
That is well spoken, madame. That is very good English.
How do you say les bras?
The
The arms. And les coups?
elbow.
Elbow. I'm going to repeat all the words you have taught me so far.
That is very difficult, madame. That is what I think.
Excusez-moi, Alice. I can tell the hand, the fingers, the nails, the armor, the elbow.
Elbow.
Oh no, I forgot elbow. How do you say le corps? Nick, nick, et le métron, di, sin. Le corps, di, nick, le métron, di, sin.
Oui, truly you pronounce it just like the natives of England. But have you forgotten what I just told you?
No, I will recite it to you right now. The hand, the fingers, the miles,
The nails, madame.
the nails, the armor, the bilbo.
Elbow.
That's what I said. Delbo, the nick, et the sin. How do you say le pied? The foot. The foot. I will recite my lesson once more all together. The hand, the fingers, the nails, the armor, delbo, the nick, the sin, et the foot.
Excellent, madame.
That is enough for one time. Let us go into dinner.
He meets with his nobles in a war council. They are certain they will crush England by attacking the ragged, weary soldiers with the strong, well-equipped French army. The king's son, the Dauphin, is eager to go to war, but the king orders him to stay at court.
'Tis certain he has passed the river Somme.
If he be not spoiled, oh my lord, let us not live in France.
Where is Montjoy the Herald? Speed him hence. Let us greet England without shout of fight. Far hurry England that sweeps through our land with pennants painted in the blood of Harfleur. Go down upon them. You have power enough.
This becomes great. Sorry am I, his numbers are so few, his soldiers sick and famished in their march. For I am sure when he shall see our army, he will drop his harps and sink of fear, and for achievement offer us his ransom.
Therefore, Lord Constable, haste on Montjoy. Prince Dauphin, you shall stay with us in Rouen.
Not so, I do beseech your majesty.
Patient, for you shall remain with us. Now fall, Lord Constable and princes all, and quickly bring us word of England's fall!
days. They are weary and ill-equipped as they arrive at Agincourt. The French herald requests that they give up and pay ransom.
Once more my king asks for a ransom. Will you yield or face our mighty forces?
We would not seek a battle as we are, nor as we are we say we will not shun it. So tell your master.
I shall. Thanks to your majesty. I hope they don't come upon us now.
We are in God's hand, brother, not in theirs. March to the bridge, it now draws towards night. Beyond the river we'll encamp ourselves, and on tomorrow, beat them, march away.
The French nobles are eager for the war to begin. They each boast about how many Englishmen they will kill. The French prince brags most of all, and the others tease him about his rhapsodies.
I have the best armor in the world. Would it were the day.
You have an excellent armor, but let my horse have his due.
It is the best horse in Europe.
Will it be a bit morning?
My lord of Orleans, and my lord high constable, you talk of horse and armor?
You are as well provided of both as of any prince in the world.
I would not trade my horse with any that would tread but about 4 hooves. When I bestride him, I soar. I am a hawk, and he is pure air and fire.
Indeed, my lord, you are the most absolute excellent horse. Now, it's time to arm. Come, shall we mount it?
Let me see. It is now 2 o'clock. By 10, have 100 Englishmen.
We will now break for a brief 10-minute intermission. Feel free to go outside for cookies. Questioning him to determine the loyalty of his army. Then he pleads with God in prayer for the upcoming battle.
Shall I attend for grace?
No, my good knight, I and my bosom must debate a while, and then I would know the company.
Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Mayor.
God of mercy, old heart, thou speakest cheerfully.
Kivula!
A friend,
Discuss unto me, art thou officer, or art thou base, common and popular?
I am a gentle lord of the company. What are you?
As good a gentleman as the emperor.
Ah, then you are better than the king?
The kings of Baja, a heart of gold, a lad of life, a infant fame, a parenthood, a fist was valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe, and her heartstring I love the lovely boy. What is thy name?
Harry Leroy.
Romoy, a Cornish name.
No, I'm a Welshman.
My name is Pistol Call.
It sorts well with your fierceness.
My liege.
Good old knight, flake more together in my tent. I'll be before thee. Oh God, battle steel my soldiers' hearts. Possess the noble fear. Take from them now their sense of reckoning. Ere the opposing numbers pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O God, oh not today. Think not upon the vault my father made encompassing the crown. I, Britain's body, have interred at noon, and on it have bestowed contrite and from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their willing hands hold up toward heaven to pardon blood. And I have built 2 shone trees, where the sad and solemn precincts differ with its soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since my penitence comes after all, imploring pardon.
My liege.
My brother Gloucester's voice, I know thy errand. I will go with thee, the day, my friend, and all things stay for me.
Lines at Agincourt Day. The English lords are gloomy about their chances in the battle now imminent. The king invigorates them with a rousing speech and seems undaunted, even with the arrival of the French herald asking for ransom money.
The king himself is rode to view their battle, and the fighting men they will hold 70,000. That's 5 to 1. Besides, they're all fresh. Oh, that we had now here but 10,000 of those men in England who do no work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we're enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not 1 man more. Rather, proclaim Westmoreland through my host, that he that hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day comes safe home, shall stand up tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him in the name of Crispian. He that shall see this day and in old age shall yearly on the vigil feast his neighbours and say, tomorrow is St. Crispin's. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's. This story shall a good man teach his son, and Crispian shall never abide from this day to the ending of the world. Yet we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. He today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this state shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now obey, shall think themselves away, and how thou pleasest God, dispose the day.
At Agincourt. The battle is in progress. The French lords are appalled to see the overthrow of their vast army, but they resolve to return to the fray. On the English side, King Henry believes the French are undefeated. Montjoy declares the end of the hostilities. The French are defeated. He humbly asks for permission to rescue the dead bodies for burial. He brings a list of the dead, and King Henry assesses the losses of both sides.
Why, all our ranks are broke.
Oh, purgeable shame!
Shame, eternal shame. Nothing but shame. We may still have enough yet living in the field to smother up the English in their thrones if any order could be
The devil take order now! Of the throne, let life be short, else shame will be too long!
Here comes the hero of the French, my liege.
How now? What means it, herald? Cost thou a debt for ransom?
No, great king, I come to thee for a charitable license to view the field in safety and to dispose of their dead bodies.
I tell thee truly, herald, I know not if the day be ours or no.
The day is yours.
Praised be God, and not our strength for it. What is this castle called that stands hard by?
They call it Agincourt.
Then call we this the field of Agincourt, built on the day of Crispianus. Herald of the dead numbered.
Here is the number of this house of French.
This note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain, of princes in this number 126, added to these of knights, esquires, and gallant gentlemen, 8,400, of which 500 were the yesterday loved knights. Here was a royal fellowship of death. Where is the number of our English dead? Edward, the Duke of York, the Earl of Suffolk, Mr. Richard Kiteley, Davy Gann, Esquire, none else of name, and of all other men, but 25.
'Tis wonderful.
Come, go we in procession to the village, and be in death proclaiming through our host to boast of this, or take that praise for the gold which is his only.
Is it not lawful, and please your majesty, to tell how many is killed?
Aye, captain, but with this acknowledgement, that God fought for us.
Yes, he did us great good.
Do we all holy rites, let there be sung on nervous and today, the dead with charity enclosed in clay, and then to Calais, and to England then, where ne'er from France arrived more happy men.
The year is 1420. In the French palace at Troyes, the peace treaty and marriage contracts are finally negotiated. While the lords arrange the political business, Henry makes his proposal to Catherine.
Peace to this meeting, wherefore we are met unto our brother France health and fair time of days. Joy and good wishes to our fair and most princely cousin Catherine. And as a branching member of this royalty by whom this great assembly is contrived, we do salute you, Princess French and English. Health to you all.
Right joyous are we to behold your face. Most worthy brother England, fairly met. So are you, Princess English, everyone. I have, but with the customary eye, all glad the articles. Pleasing your grace to appoint some of your council to sit with us once more, I will pass my sudden and peremptory answer.
Brother, we shall. Yet leave our cousin Catherine here with us. She is our capital demand, comprised within the full rank of our articles.
She hath good leave.
Fair, Catherine, and most fair, will you vouchsafe to keep a soldier terms such as will enter a lady's ear and plead his love suit to her gentle heart?
Your Majesty shall look at me. I cannot speak your England.
Oh, fair Catherine, if you love me soundly with your French heart, I would be glad to hear you reciprocally with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
I cannot tell what is like me.
An angel is like you, Kate. You are like an angel.
What does he say? I am like to angels?
Yes, indeed, begging your gracious pardon. That is what he said.
Les langues des hommes sont pleines de tromperies.
What says she, fair one? That the tongues of men are full of deceits?
Oui, that the tongues of the man be full of deceit. That is the princess.
I faith, Kate, my doing is fit for thy understanding. I know no ways to mince it in love, but directly to say I love you. Then if you urge me, father, then to say do you, faith, I'll wear out my suit. Give me your answer, if faith do, so clap hands in a bargain. How say you, lady?
Is it possible I should love the enemy of France?
No, it is not possible that you should love the enemy of France, Kate. But in loving me, you should love the friend of France. For I love France so well that I will not part with a village of it. I would have it all mine. And Kate, when France is mine and I am yours, then yours is France, and you are mine.
I cannot tell what is that.
No, Kate, I will tell thee in French, which I am sure will hang about my tongue like a new married wife about her husband's neck, hardly to be chicote. Je connais la position de France, et qu'avez-vous la position de moi? Oh, let me see what that. Donc, votre France est mienne. It is as easy for me to conquer the kingdom as to speak so much more French. I will never move the Emperor in the city to laugh at me.
With full respect, the French that you speak is better than the English that I speak.
No, Faith, it is not. But tell me, Kate, canst thou understand thus much English? Canst thou love me?
I cannot tell.
What can any of your neighbors tell, Kate? I'll ask them. By mine honour in true English I swear I love thee. By which honour I dare not swear thou lovest me. Yet my blood begins to flatter me that thou dost. Thou hast me, if thou hast me, at the worst. And thou shalt wear me, if thou wear me. Better and better, therefore tell me most fair Catherine, will you have me?
That is as it shall please their one or that.
Nay, it shall please him well, Kate. It shall please him, Kate.
Then it shall also content me.
Upon that, I kiss your hand, and may call you my queen.
Let go, my lord, let go. Oh, my word, I would never want you to lower your dignity by kissing the hand of your majesty's unworthy servant. Excuse me, I beg you, my most mighty lord.
Then I will kiss your lips, Kate.
Les dames et demoiselles, pour être très visées devant leur muse, il n'est pas la coutume de France.
Madame,
this in English?
To kiss?
Your Majesty entend baiser moi?
Oh, Kate. Nice customs, courtesy to great kings. You and I cannot be confined within the weak list of country's fashion. We are the makers of manners, Kate. Therefore, patiently and yielding. You have witchcraft in your lips, Kate. There is more eloquence in them than all the tongues of the French council. Give it, father.
God save your Majesty. My royal cousin, teach your princess English.
I would have her learn, my fair cousin, how perfectly I love her, and that is good English.
We have consented to all terms of reason.
And thereupon give me your daughter.
Take her, fair son, and from her blood raise up issue to me, that the contending kingdoms of France and England, whose very shores look pale with envy of each other's happiness, may cease their hatred. And this dear conjunction plant neighborhood and Christian like accord in their sweet bosoms, that never war advance his bleeding sword twixt England and fair France.
Amen. Now welcome, Kate, and bear me witness all that I kiss her as my sovereign queen. God, the best maker of all marriages, combine our hearts in one, our realms in one, as man and wife, being two are one in love. Be there twixt between our kingdoms such a spousal that we never ill office or fell in jealousy, which troubles off the bed of blessed marriages. Trusting between the paction of these kingdoms to make divorce of their incorporate league, that English may as French Englishmen receive each other. God speak this. Amen.
Amen.
The chorus has the last words, speaking a sonnet that relates King Henry V to Shakespeare's earlier history plays.
Thus, far with rough, and all unable pen, our banding author hath pursued this story in middle run confiding mighty men, mangling by starts the full course of their glory. Small time, but in that small, most greatly lived the star of him. Fortune made his sword, by which the world's vast garden he achieved, and of it left his son imperial lord. Henry VI, in infant bands crowned king of France and England. Did this king succeed? Whose state so many had them managing that they lost France and made his England bleed, which oft our state hath shown, and for their sake, in your fair minds, let this acceptance take.
Elena, McCauley. As the chorus and a French knight, McCauley. As the Archbishop of Canterbury, Sir Thomas Grey, the French King, and the Duke of Orleans, Trevor Clark. As an English knight and the Princess Catherine, Sabrina Lewis. As the Lord's group of Masham, the ambassador, Montjoy the herald, and a messenger, Carly Clark. As an English knight, the governor of Harfleur, Alice the governess, and Richard, Earl of Cambridge, Gabrielle. Westmoreland, and Duke of Gloucester, an English knight, Tyson Clark. As Exeter, the King's uncle, Garrett Garlinger. As Pistol, a French knight, Sierra Garlinger. As the Duke of York, Derek Lewis. As French knights were Marissa McCauley and Samantha Noah. As French and English knights were Casey Clark and Julia McCauley. As the Prince Dauphin, Daniel Noah. We'd also like to extend a special thank you to Karen Noah for all her work abridging the play, directing it, and just generally making it all happen.
Didn't they all do a great job? And Karen did an awesome job as well. And I'd also like to have at this time all the other ladies that did such a fine job. It's Melanie Clark, Ann McCauley, Sandy Lewis, and Sherry Garner. And thank you all, and take one more bow.
I like it a front hand, do I make it look